We could have the details of a budget deal as early as today, probably not later than tomorrow, and that would give lawmakers a few days to get the proposal through the House before they adjourn for the year on Friday. And then it would go to the Senate, where it needs a handful of Republican senators to join Democrats to pass it. Republican Senator Roger Wicker is a member of the Budget Conference Committee. He's also a member of the Senate Armed Services Committee. It's good to see you, Senator. Good morning.
Well, it's great to be back with you, yes.
We know what some of the concerns have been about this budget deal. Obviously, the size to start with, how much of the sequester cuts will be replaced, what they would be, jobless benefits. Are you comfortable with where you hear we are right now? Are you trusting of Paul Ryan to represent Republican interests? Is there anything you're hearing that would be a deal breaker for you?
Well, I have a lot of confidence in Paul Ryan. I think he knows where we need to be, and the question is, are there the votes to sell this? We need to do a down payment that proves we can do a long-term super deal. What we need to do this week, what we need to do December, is make some long-term entitlement cuts that will free up a little money so we don't have to take the severe defense sequestration cuts and research cuts that are going to be part of the appropriation process for the next fiscal year. That's what we need to do. What I'm hearing is we're going to replace about $65 billion worth of appropriation cuts, and we're going to do it sort of with a collection of cats and dogs, fees on airline passengers, spectrum sales, and things like that that don't amount to long-term savings in the next decades. That's a little disappointing
now, Senator,
to me.
And I haven't even heard, entitlements aren't even on the table, are they?
Well, you know, you may have heard more details than I have, but I'm hearing a real case of small ball and nothing that makes me think we've bent the curve at all for the long-term debt.
Well, one of the sticking points for negotiations now, at least for Democrats, has been potential cuts to federal worker pensions. If I can, I'd like to play for you what a Congressman Chris Van Hollen told me here yesterday.
You cannot be asking federal employees to bear the share of the burden that they're asking for here as part of an agreement when you're not asking, for example, agribusinesses that get huge taxpayer subsidies to have a contribution toward the deal.
Is he right, Senator?
Well, I think if we have that sort of rhetoric, it's going to be very hard to have any sort of deal at all. Listen, if we take higher middle income and higher income Americans, I think on a case-by-case basis, we can probably ask for some additional fees at the higher income levels. And they score short-term enough to cover this. Long-term, there are real savings there. And it's a matter of means testing for people who have the means to kick in a little more for their pensions. If Chris Van Hollen is talking about lower to medium income workers having more or less a tax increase, I think I would support him on that. But look, there's going to have to be some give and take.
Well, let's talk about something that's very important to you.
We're down to the witching hour, and we need to get it done.
Let's talk about the defense authorization bill, because the lawmakers did agree to a modified version, and some of the points are it would provide a modest increase for military service members in pay, bars the Obama administration from transferring terrorism detainees from Gitmo to the U.S., requires the dishonorable discharge or dismissal of anyone convicted of sexual assaults, and stops military commanders from changing the findings of prosecutors, although it doesn't go as far as Kirsten Gillibrand's bill. Do you support the proposal as it is now?
I do support the proposal. I'm disappointed we didn't get to bring it to the Senate floor for members actually to be able to offer amendments and the Senate to work its will. But given that it is now the second week of December and we need a bill to support our troops and to give all the authority needed for DOD to protect Americans, I think this is the best solution. And in spite of not being able to have regular order, I personally would vote for this sort of approach going forward. Hope we can have a Senate that actually allows amendments and full debate. I think Senator Gillibrand, I would not support her amendment, but I think she deserved a debate and a vote on it.
Senator Roger Wicker, thank you so much.
You bet.